In this video, I'll give you some tips how to make the best out of Zinx as a support character. She can be used in different roles and can be actually very strong on the offensive side as well, especially considering her fast attack speed. But I mean the default one. But if you're using as support, we don't have tons of items, right, for support. But again, you can take from everything else. But those who actually do exist for support synergize very well with her because her ability to heal, which is part of her kit. So I'm going to dive into a bit of explanation based on what I'm actually focusing on with gameplay and show you some really cool moves that she can do if you use her right. Now her passive allows her to be pretty evasive, close also enemies, and also if you use this more offensively it can be good as well, because again once you get the stack it allows you to basically get 40% decaying, so it reduces in speed over time and also increase healing. So when you see basically Zinx being aggressive, you understand why. She can also be very aggressive to become even tankier if she uses some items that even further increase the healing. So she can be even very tanky if you design her like that. Now she has low durability, so trying to amplify her to become durable, you're losing lots of the other things that can make her very powerful. Now her ultimate ability, and we'll show you gameplay in a moment, is what actually makes her very, very powerful. She's kind of a trickster, and if you know how to work around her ultimate ability, you can definitely change the pace of the combat. So basically she can either revive herself or an ally. You also granted extra speed, so it actually can use also to disengage or keeping up with enemies if they run away. So if you can see your ally is trying to keep up with an enemy, you can just put it on them even without relating to revival, just so they can actually keep up in close distance on escaping enemies. However, it's very important to do it in time. First of all, let's show you some gameplay so you can see how well she can perform if done right. Here, for example, I support a Morigash that was about to die. So I put a healing for extra, but she's still after her. Put the revive. Continue to support with healing. And she is gone. You need to understand, because you basically have second life and you can crazy heal yourself even if you use your tranquility, as you can see that I have there. If I combine these two, I'm basically kind of a character that is not really worth in some situations to actually target. That's why, for example, jungle have some complex when it comes to, well, should I attack Zinx or not? Because again, her ability to actually revive herself, but again, she can support the ADC, so yeah, some characters will have problem to know which one to tackle first. So in some situations, especially if you're going with a build that's supported well, you're going to find that you can actually just exhaust other players' abilities, mana, I mean, ultimates even Morigash, for example, when she does her ult, you can just do it and she wastes her ult. And basically they're going to waste resources and eventually they're going to get hit from players around you, especially if you are in group fights. I'll show you more examples in a moment, but then you can understand why she's so powerful. Although at the first sight it doesn't seem like it, in combat she's very, very tricky. Now of course you can go something that with high damage and even Omnivap and combine everything like that with Omnivap and increase healing to become very, very durable, especially if you are targeted. But again, the thing is that if you do that, you're actually using your capability to actually support your teammates like I've shown you there. Now she deals her basic attack physical damage, but if you look at the infuse passive there, it also can deal magical damage. But the thing is that you can amplify the damage, but usually what they use it for poking and basically using some kind of debuffs. So with different items to, for example, reduce healing and so on. We'll talk about that a bit later. Her ricochet is great because she can of course stun enemies. You can also of course, if enemies are channeling, for example, you can disrupt it. But it can also ricochet to several enemies, which is another advantage, and you can deal decent damage with it. But one of another great abilities is the ability to use infuse, basically healing allies, and this is based on their missing health in the magical power. And because you have this synergy, you kind of work to also increase your magical damage as well to support the extra healing. This is why you play against her, you really find her annoying in terms of damage as well. So I'm going to show you different items, for example, that can be very good with her. They have really good synergy. First of all, regarding the ult, after you use your ult, This can be very good to actually use Tranquility. First of all, it gives you high mana regen, and this is important because your healing is very, very expensive to use. But there are some very good synergies using the healing, both in the Tranquility and of course your kit to get different buffs. Yeah, this one, for example, Lunaria. For example, items that have magical power, extra healing shield, and also have, if you look here, you can see on healing or shielding an ally hero. This can have different type of debuffs, and these items are very, very powerful for her because she can heal, especially again if you're using your kit, but also again with the Tranquility if you decide to go with it. And this is especially true if you go with extra healing and shield, also extra health, become even more durable, and also magical power to further increase the healing. Now basically you want to support your character with mainly these 5 things: base mana regen, magical power, health, heal and shield power, and ability haste. Ability haste is very important, especially when it comes to healing, because again all this synergy relies on healing, especially again when you rely on the ability rather than just waiting for the cooldown of your crest. And if you invest in good items, you can actually get even healing in every 4 seconds, which can be very powerful. But also the ability, by the way, to evade, like sometimes I went with Galaxy Greaves to give you the extra option to evade because I'm targeted quite a lot. And this gives me the option to kind of evade, continue supporting, and once I'm up, I probably won't target it again because again in group fights people will target each other a lot. Then I can reposition and continue supporting my team. So it actually was quite nice having that item. It also gave me the extra speed so I can move between lanes faster. Again, it's optional, but in some cases I actually chosen it because it helped me survive better. Another great item, by the way, is Time Warp that has also magical power, base mana regen, and ability haste, and it can be very good in making sure that you can use your healing more often. All your abilities, but also healing, which is very important if you're building around good synergies with the healing, which in my opinion, you should. And if you're going with healing, try to reduce the opponent's healing at the same time. You can do this both for yourself and the allies, as you can see here with Tainted Totem. Has again magical power, health, base mana regen, and ability haste. All of them are important for a good build in my opinion. Of course you can create different builds, but she works very well with this type of synergies. We'll show a bit more gameplay in a moment. Crucible, by the way, as you can see here, this is for getting shield and can give you CC when you're using your ultimate. I personally prefer not using it, maybe late game at some point, but overall this is not my first choice. One that I really like is actually Crystal Tier. So when I create a build that, again, all about when healing allies, it has magical power, ability haste, base mana regen, and heal and shield power. And on healing, you also support with extra damage and ability haste for your teammate as well. Great if you're both trying to fight against another opponent or opponents. And by that I mean you and the ADC. This I didn't like too much, good for kind of catching up on enemies for extra speed, but compared to others it was less, let's say, attractive. Crystal can very good at the first item, give you, again, you want something that can give you base mana regen, high base mana regen in the beginning, so it can support you throughout. So this can also give you a bit of damage early on, which can actually lead to some eliminations early on, and also reduces the non-ultimate cooldowns as well. Very good item to choose at the beginning. Alright, let's look at gameplay. Alright, here I'm using Lunaria in Marshall. But this doesn't matter, what matters is what I'm doing here. Alright, basically let's look again. I'm just baiting him close to the tower. He's gonna get, everybody's getting closer. I'm getting health back. And we attack, we get 2 kills. I'm healing Kira. I couldn't get the third one. We're pretty close. I mean, we actually got a kill, but just a few seconds later when he was on the tower. And Kira just went on and went back. Yeah. Right here, supporting at the back. Healing. Basically slowing down, healing, and then pushing forward to deal damage myself as well. Other than that, roaming around, searching for a choking point or one that I actually seen enemies taking. This is why it's very important to pay attention to the pathing so you know where to put your wards, clear out other wards, enemy wards, supporting other lanes when possible. So I'm just putting in different choking points here. And once I get to the mid, I'm gonna heal because I see the Gideon is high HP, but mine is low. Instead of her going back, she can continue and be in the fight. Now here I'm using the ult just to let him get away. So this is the same thing that prevents him from actually dying to resurrect, but just doing it for extra speed. Now that's a bait, so we can get the 2 kills. Here I got a kill. I thought she was very low. I want to make sure we get a kill, but usually of course you should leave it to the ADC. Now here is the opposite thing. Basically another hero is targeted, in this case Morgesh, and I'm gonna make sure that she stays alive and you get elimination. This is a great combo, by the way, because Morgesh can also heal when she interacts with, especially against heroes. So this was very hard. It's very strong combo, basically. They usually start to stay in a distance that you actually won't get targeted. Although in certain situations you want to get targeted, but basically try to stay away from danger so you can support your allies. This is the safest thing, especially if a few of them will jump on you. Even if you can revive, they can easily eliminate you after if you're not in a good position. So yeah, the best place of course is just having good field of view of what's happening and then engage. Now I'm being more aggressive, now I initiate. Because of the stun, she is also a good initiator, as you can see. Now I did try to play with her, in different roles and with different builds to see how it plays some crazy stuff and to deviate with, from the more support role. Maybe she can take it to other lanes. But again, because I'm focusing on support here, basically I try something more aggressive so I can actually heal a lot. And even then, considering the fact that if you want to deal damage, you need to be close and consider durability and everything. And especially as a support, this just doesn't work well. You basically want to mitigate the advantages that some of the, of course, damage dealing heroes have to make it less, the other heroes less susceptible to high DPS. And just make them stay alive with healing and shielding and so on. So this is why when you play with her, her kit with her stats and everything together really falls into making sure to amplify her healing capabilities and focus on her healing ability and synergy with the other abilities to make the best out of her as a support character. But just note at the same breath, she does have the capability to actually become very powerful in terms of damage dealing. So I'm pretty sure many players will try to take advantage of that. Maybe as a support, more aggressive support, maybe combination of both, or maybe take it to another lane and make it very powerful while actually her crest and her abilities will be focused on damage dealing. Again, what she lacks in zoning capabilities compared to Dekker She does have the ability to really control the fight, especially when it comes to supporting the ADC. This is why I take the Tranquility for extra healing, especially in group fights when I need that little extra, because with Dekker I can segment a group out, and with her again I can use of course the stun, but she has less useful kit when it comes to group fights. So she's a bit more difficult in that aspect, and basically what I do, I try to segment out specific heroes that I want to target, and of course watch out for my teammate's location and their health very carefully, so I can actually support them in particular situation, especially 1 versus 1, and especially also watching for ults, incoming ults. Now of course, because she has healing capability, it's part of her kit, it's very important for me to take advantage of that with the build. Otherwise again, you don't really take full use of her capabilities and synergy with other items. Her bad medicine is really not great. I mean, you can deny for certain areas for enemies to get into it and slow them down if they're trying to chase, but it doesn't feel too powerful. I mean, as powerful as I wanted it to be. And although you can try in different roles, I highly recommend using her as support. She just screams, take me as a support, because of course her healing kit and ability to synergize well with many different items, support items that are in the game. Still, she has high attack speed, so people might take advantage of that as well for damage dealing, which is of course you can do this as well. As a healing, you can also focus on making her deal more damage, which is possible. It's up to you to decide how you want to balance it out. So basically, if you want to make her more aggressive, you can go with items that increase the attack speed, and you can make her pretty deadly, by the way. For example, you can take, if you go here for the support, you have for example these 2 items. Downstar that has, as you can see, when you immobilize, you have 25% attack speed for 2.5 seconds, so you can have this, and you also reduce their damage dealing as well. It has high HP, which is very good, base health regen, which can also be good, ability haste and physical armor, and you have the martial with high base mana regen, magical power, and ability haste, and you get 50% attack speed. But again, because of her kit and the healing ability, this is great to choose on healing. You're really going to take advantage of her capability for healing allies and having good synergy, and also that's why you should invest in ability haste so you can use it more often. Of course, don't be afraid to search for other items, even those who are not actually in the support tree, to find good synergies, like Tambo for example that I explained, but there are of course many others. Now again, it's not that you have like so many options as a support character and things that can work very well for her considering her kit, but those who actually that you do have are very powerful, and this is why I recommend going with them, so you can actually support her healing ability. And as you can see from the different snippets of gameplay that I showed you, so it can be very, very powerful with the right build. Thanks for watching.